I am from the Lost Coast of California. It's called the Lost Coast for many different reasons. One of the reasons is that the area is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful, it's remote, it's wild. A lot of it is pretty much untouched. And it's difficult to get into. And that's part of the reason why it's so wild, so beautiful, and so untouched. So we get a lot of hikers coming into the area. Unfortunately, another reason why the area is called the Lost Coast is not just because of how difficult it is to get in and out of the area. Don't get me started on the highways. There's 3, and you're lucky in the winter if 2 of them are working, are fully open for you to escape if you need to. But another reason why it's called the Lost Coast is admittedly because we have the highest per capita missing persons in California. And I just saw the numbers for that, the new calculated numbers, and I was shook because they're saying that about 717 people go missing for every 100,000 people annually. That's a lot. Isn't that like 0.07% or something like that? Pretty close. Like 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 7% is a lot. Or whatever the percentage. I mean, it doesn't matter. That is still a lot of people. That is a lot of people. And the thing is we can't even calculate how many people have gone missing because there's so many different jurisdictions in the area. Everything from tribal, Caltrans, state, federal, privately owned, and everyone has a different jurisdiction with a different municipality in charge of it, and each one have their own databases. Another thing we can't calculate or we can't figure out is that we have a lot of unidentified bodies that hikers find. Like, it's actually not unusual about once to 3 or 4 times a month sometimes to hear about hikers that have found a dead body. And I also know quite a few people that volunteer for search and rescue. A lot of people in the area volunteer for search and rescue. There is a lot of dogs that are trained for search and rescue, owned by private people, just because they know how many people go missing every single year. Personally, I like to focus on the fact that it's called the Lost Coast because of how beautiful and rugged it is. But I am also not going to ignore the fact that a lot of weirdness kind of happens in the area. I'm not going to say why, because not even I can figure that out, though there are probably a lot of contributing factors that you can trace back in history to that. But that is where I am from, the Lost Coast, and that is why it is called the Lost Coast. Another term that we use affectionately in the area is the Redwood Curtain, because one of my favorite things about driving the highways in and out of Humboldt County is along the highways you'll see redwoods that are literally growing right up against the cement. And if you look at some of the trees, in occasional spots, you'll see that there are notches taken out at certain heights. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that those notches are the exact heights of certain mirrors on certain vehicles. That is how close and how difficult it was to get the roads into Humboldt County. They literally were like, we're just going to butt this highway literally up against this redwood. That's all we can do. We can't afford to remove it. It's too big, it's too difficult, and it will make part of the road collapse. So, I like to focus on that, but that is why it is called the Redwood Curtain. So, yeah. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I hope you like my tiny little bit of a history lesson there. Fact lesson? Lesson? Was it a lesson? Or just me ranting? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below.